Hey, I'm Helen from Yoga School. I'm in Muskoka, Canada this week on Kawagama Lake, getting to enjoy a friend's cottage. Wanted to share a little upper back, chest, forearm stand focused flow. This is one of my favorite poses, something I love to work into and to build into my practice. It involves a lot of both strength and openness through your chest and upper back. So we'll play a little, have fun with it. Hopefully I don't fall off the dock into the water. If I do, it'll make for some great bloopers. We're going to start today in a tabletop position right away. So as you're ready, you can come to hands and knees, tabletop position, spread your fingertips wide, shoulders come right above your wrists, hips right above your knees, and just start to move around a little bit. Notice how you're feeling. I've got a little side-to-side sway going on. You might take some weight forward into your hands, your fingers, back around, maybe even a figure eight. And even though we're not moving necessarily onto our hands, or all the weight on our hands, I should say, in a forearm stand, we are putting some weight on our hands, our wrists, and our forearms, of course. So getting some weight there, kind of warming up your hands, your wrists, can be really helpful. So just start to move in any way that feels intuitive and natural. Next inhale, we'll move into cow and cat. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, send your heart forward, really lengthen. Exhale, scoop round, press the earth away, chin to chest. And continue to move like that. You might move slower, you might move faster. Allow this to be whatever your body needs in this moment, knowing that we're going to move into upper back and chest. Lots of openness, lots of strength, a nice combo of the two. Let's find one more round of breath. And come back toward neutral. Take an inhale here. Exhale, puppy pose. Walk your hands forward. Drop your chin, your chest, or your forehead on a Hatasana. A little heart opening shape. And really breathe underneath your armpits, between your shoulder blades, wherever you feel sensation. Gently slide back to a child's pose. Knees can be together or wide. Adjust however you need. And then crawl your hands as far as you can to your right. Let your hips lean a little bit left. Continue your slow, steady breath. Maybe turning on Ujjayi now if you haven't already. That audible inhale and exhale through your nose. And gently bring yourself back to your tabletop hands and knees to find your way to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. And you can decide how close or far apart your feet are from your hands in down dog. The way that I was always taught is that they should be the same distance as you'd have them in plank, and then simply press up and back. But I found in my own body and in different anatomies of my students is that sometimes hands a little closer to feet feels more comfortable, gets a different sensation or stretch. To really honor what it is your body needs. Since I know I'm moving into a forearm stand, I want to feel some length through the back of my legs, a lot of length through my spine. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet up to your hands, find a ragdoll. Feet at least hip distance, hold opposite elbows, relax your head and neck and sway a little side to side. You can nod your head yes, breathe in. Exhale, shake your head no. And then release your hands to the earth. Keep your feet wide. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold, relax, settle down. Inhale, rise out and up. So forward and up, or out to the sides and up. Breathe. Exhale, palms together in front of your hearts. Feel that sense of groundedness through your feet. We're going to find that stability and security through our arms when we move upside down. Hands to the sky, big breath in. Hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, reach your hands back, lift your heart. Exhale again, fold over your legs, belly to thighs. Let your hands peel off your back just as much as your shoulders allow. And if your hands aren't quite together or this isn't working, you can always simply reach your hands wide, like you're holding a cape behind you. And then gently release your hands down. Lift halfway, breathe in. As you exhale, bend your left knee a lot, left fingertips are palm below your face, right arm peels open to the sky. Roll your wrist, and then take some big circles into your shoulder, both directions. Release your hand down, lift halfway, breathe in. Switch sides, right knee bends, right fingertips are palm down, left arm to the sky. Roll your wrist, and then big circles into your shoulder. Both directions. Release your hand down. Keep your feet wide. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down, plant your palms, step back. High plank with your feet nice and wide. Breathe in. Breathe out to a side plank, outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left foot. Let them be staggered, left arm high. Exhale, release it down. Inhale here. Exhale, find that side plank. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, side to side. And you might feel more natural inhaling to peel open and exhaling back to plank. Just find a little rhythm, building some strength through your core, some stability through your midline, and playing with transferring the weight side to side, hand to hand. Come back to high plank. Lower to your belly, shift forward, hug your elbows, lower down. Baby cobra, breathe in. Gently release, breathe out. Inhale, hands a little wider. I like to tent my palms, so just fingertips are down. Lift, and exhale, lower. And then one more, peel off the earth. Take a little shoulder dip and twist back to center. Exhale, dip and twist in the opposite direction. Back to center, breathe in. Lower down, breathe out. Bring your hands below your shoulders, tuck your toes, press up to tabletop or high plank. Tabletop is where it's at for me today. And then to a child's pose, hips to heels. Come forward to tabletop, but lower your forearms. We're just gonna work a little bit into this shape. So key here is going to be to find opposite elbows and not let your elbows go wider than your shoulders. So if you're out here, we kind of lose that stability. You can have your palms flat, or if you prefer, hands interlaced, or prayer hands, palms together. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat. Really send your head between your arms. Twice more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe hips even move a little back. Working into your shoulder joint in a different way. One more inhale. And exhale. Come back to neutral. Press onto your palms. Find your normal tabletop position and make any adjustments you need. Right arm to the sky. Breathe in. Thread the needle. Hover your shoulder. Breathe it out. Twice more. Inhale to open up. Exhale. Thread it through. Inhale. And then we'll hold. Right shoulder down, head down, left hand can stay, reach in front or even wrap behind. And then you can stay just like this, or you can play with extending your left foot. I like to tuck my right toes. You might prefer top of your foot down. Even play with lifting your left foot to work a little bit into that balance and instability. Really turn on your core muscles. Release down if you lifted. Left hand by your face, unthread, right arm out and up, breathe in. And exhale, release. Other side, left arm high. Thread through and hover. Use your inhale to open. Use your exhale to dive yourself through. Last one we'll hold. Breathe in. Breathe out. And get yourself set up in whatever way feels good for you. Right hand forward or wrapped. The bugs are starting to come out. Maybe right toe extends. If I get a little crazy, just remind me this is part of my practice. Maybe right foot floats. When things feel even, lower your knee down, right hand by your face, unthread, left arm out and up, breathe in. Exhale, release it down. Downward facing dog, hands a little bit forward, hips to the sky. We're going to play with moving from down dog into a dolphin, and this might be one elbow at a time, kind of a drop, lift, lift, or you might play with lowering both at the same time. I like to move down on an exhale and back to down dog on an inhale, but you do whatever breath feels intuitive. If you're doing one at a time, mix up the order. Try to keep shoulders out of your ears as much as possible. Totally normal for them to lift a little bit as your arms are essentially over your head, but we're playing with finding a little bit of that strength. When you've had enough, downward facing dog, and then a break in a child's pose. Knees together or wide, hands in front or wrapped around. Find your breath. Gently lift yourself up. Find a kneeling position and step 1 foot forward. Let your hips sink forward. You might even bring your hands toward the earth. Find some space through the front of your hip flexors. Really engage your glutes. And then palms together over your head. Once your balance is there, bend your elbows. Open up through your chest. Think about elbows to the sky and pressing toward each other. Hands behind your shoulder blades. And then gently release. Back to kneeling. Hands can come down. Find that stability. Other foot steps forward. So just a different way to kind of play with getting into it. Remember, you can always drop your hands. You can always move from a down dog if you prefer. I like to trick my body a little bit sometimes. Find that engagement of your glutes. Hands overhead when you're ready. Bend your elbows. Lift your heart. Find that space. And then gently come up and out. Back to your kneeling position. Tuck your toes, hands to your low back pockets. Lift your heart. An easy camel pose. Don't go to your deepest version. Even if you can, think of hugging your elbows, lifting your heart. Open through your chest. We'll gently lower hips, bum to heels, hands in front, and find downward facing dog. Take your right leg to the sky, breathe in. Open up your hip, bend your knee. Imagine you could press your foot into an imaginary wall. Breathe there into sensation. Extend your leg long, inhale. Step your foot forward as you exhale. Maybe it goes between your hands, maybe somewhere along the way. Sink your hips, send your heart forward. Lift your hips, a modified pyramid. Relax your head and neck. Again, breathe in. Bend your front knee. Plant your left foot, rise to standing. I should say steady your left foot. My heel is lifted, high crescent lunge. Palms together, bend your elbows, lift your heart. Take your hands high, breathe in. Bring your hands behind your back, breathe out. Try for that clasp again, maybe the awkward grip on top. Maybe hands just reach back like you're holding a cape or a towel behind you, lift your heart. Take a humble lunge, begin to drop your right shoulder toward your right knee. Gently release your grip. Bring your hands down. Slide your left knee down and come to a half hero's pose. So we're going to sit just inside your left foot. So your left knee is bent, foot outside your left glute. You can always extend or do a half cross-legged, whatever feels best for you if this doesn't work on your knees. Both hands wrap around your right foot. Start to press your right foot forward. And then think of rounding through your spine, kind of the opposite of what we might normally do. Really use the pressure of your foot into your hands to find a stretch across your back. And then maybe you play with straightening out your leg. I'm still working into that rounded shape. And then maybe you play with lifting your heart, a little bit more of a straight back. When you've had enough, rebend your front knee. Bring your hands forward. We're going to come back to the lunge shape, however you want to get there. If this is not it for you, hands come down, left foot steps back. Plant your left palm, reach your right arm to the sky, and then thread your right arm underneath your right leg. Think of rounding. Twice more. Breathe in. A little wrap and round. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Open it up. Right hand behind your head. Peel your elbow more open. And then release your hand down. Step forward, left foot meets your right. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, release, exhale. All the way to standing, hands reach high. Take your hands wide and then right arm below your left. Hug opposite shoulders or connect your palms. Find your eagle arms. We'll keep just the arms. Think of pulling elbows away from your chest and then sit into chair legs. Feel free to explore a little bit of movement here. I'm going to go side to side, make some circles up and down. When that feels like enough, reach wide, breathe in all the way to the sky. Fold forward, breathe it out. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale through a vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. Maybe a child's pose is more appropriate. Find that balance of strength and openness. And of course, tune into your breath. Left leg high, breathe in. Open up your hip, bend your knee. Imagine pressing your foot into a wall. Find that openness through your hip flexor, through the front left line of your body. Extend your leg long, breathe in, and step your foot forward between your hands. Sink your hips, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift your hips, modified pyramid. Inhale, re-bend into your front knee. We're going to exhale, sit into that half heroes, right knee bends. Sit down inside your right foot. I know it's a little bit awkward. Playing with some transitions here. Wrap your hands below your left foot. Think of rounding through your spine and start to press your foot into your hands to find that stretch across your upper back. Maybe you play with straightening out your leg and eventually kind of lift your heart, slide your shoulders down your back. Notice what feels different. And slowly release it down. Back to your low lunge shape. Foot down, hands down, step your right foot back. That one felt weird on my knee, so please be gentle with your own knees. Left arm high, breathe in. Thread it underneath your left leg, breathe it out. Twice more. Inhale to peel open. Exhale, thread it under. Reach your hand high. Elbow to the sky, peel it a little bit more open. Slowly release your foot down, your hand down, I should say. Step your right foot up to meet your left foot. Forward fold, top of your space. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Raise up, reach up. Exhale, arms wide, left arm below your right this time. Find your eagle arms, give your shoulders a little hug. Stay or connect your palms. Bend your knees and then feel free to move it around. Explore what your spine feels like, your upper back, your chest. Unwind, arms to the sky, big breath in. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Lift halfway, breathe in. I forgot that humble lunge on one side, so we're gonna step right foot back and we'll find it. We'll revisit. Arms float high. Palms together overhead, bend your elbows. Open up, lift your heart. Reach your hands high. Take them behind your back, interlace your fingers. Find the grip, lift your heart, and take your humble lunge. Doesn't always have to be in the same order. The OCD in me wants it to. But the realistic person in me knows that this is life. When you're ready, release your hands down. You can step back, move through a vinyasa, or simply meet me in downward facing dog or a child's pose. And if I ever forget anything else, you find balance in your body and your practice a way that makes sense for you. We're going to set ourselves up for our forearm stand or a little prep. And of course, if you're at home and you do have a wall, you're not going to go into a lake. You might set yourself up in front of a wall. I'll also challenge you to try without a wall, because what I find is really helpful is to just play with the balance going past center rather than reaching straight up. I like to take one leg forward, one leg back, kind of play with balance there. I'll talk you through it. I find with legs bent, kind of a stag setup feels the most balance for me. And there's always one leg that wants to lead a little bit more, depending on where my strength is or where the openness in my hamstrings are or whatever the day is. So to start, we're going to set up like we did for that dolphin pose. Forearms come down. I personally prefer to have my hands flat. Some people like to place a block between their hands, make like a little L. We don't have props today, or at least I don't. You can also tie a strap around your upper arms right above your elbows to keep your elbows from splaying out. If you prefer hands interlaced or palms together, go there. Do what's going to make you the most comfortable. And I will scoot a little bit back so I don't go all the way into the water. We're just going to start with hips to the sky, head between your arms. Let your head relax. It's off the ground. It's kind of hovering. Notice what happens when you collapse into your shoulders and lift up and out. I got a nice little wake from that boat here, so an extra balance challenge. And then as you feel ready, you can start to walk your feet in. And it's totally fun if your knees bend, so your belly's to your thighs. The straighter your legs get, or the closer that they get to your elbows, the higher your hips will be over your shoulders, over your head. And that'll make it slightly easier to balance, but it's not going to happen for everyone. When you feel like you've had enough, please take a child's pose. Lots of breaks here. I like to shrug my shoulders up, back, and down, open it up, find a little bit of movement. If you're getting to the point of being so tired that you're going to collapse, you're not going to find the strength. So give yourself the break. So I don't like a ton of strengthening, holding shapes before, because if I'm too tired, it's just not going to happen. If you do feel ready to go upside down, I encourage you to try with one leg, and rather than thinking of kicking, think of lifting. So my right leg likes to go more high than my left, and I look between my forearms. I'm going to think about shifting my weight forward toward my hands. Notice my top leg is bent, and I'm just going to play with what that feels like to shift a little weight forward. My bottom leg is just hovering off the ground, and I'll try the other leg on. See what that feels like today. I like to take that top leg bent to bring a little extra weight over my head. That might be enough. You might play with that. You might kick up into your wall. You might go all the way up and over. That's a really deep back bend. So if you do feel like you're tipping over and you don't have a wall, think about drawing your knee back to your chest to come up and out. So it kind of looks more like this. One knee in, and knees come in. I'm going to see if it's going to happen today, or may not. Didn't really plan this out well with the rocky dock and the boats coming by, but a great way to practice. So one leg up. I like to bend the other leg, sometimes both knees bent. And then once I feel like I have enough balance, not there, I start to straighten both legs up to the sky. And some days it might work, some days it might not. When I first started practicing this shape, I did a lot of scorpions with both legs over my head, knees bent, kind of more of a back bend shape. It worked my low back. It gave me that counterbalance of my feet over my head, and eventually worked up to straight. So it may not be perfect all the time. The shape is called pincha mayurasana in Sanskrit. So feathered peacock, or a peacock feather. I'll see if I can do it without talking through. Maybe find a little bit more balance. And it may or may not happen. Give yourself the breaks that you need. Play with it. Take a child's pose. I'm going to try for a couple more minutes, and then we're going to move on whether or not it happens. So know that even people who love this shape and who do it a lot have on and off days. And I'll be real, I haven't been practicing this one a ton recently, so probably why. But good reminders. When you've had enough, take your child's pose, whatever variation you like. And then find your way back to our tabletop, the shape we started in. And take any natural movement. It might be back to your puppy pose. It might be to your thread the needle. It might be a little forearm or wrist stretch. I'm going to drop my left forearm, palm facing up in front of my right knee. Bring my right knee on top for a little massage. And then swap it out. And then I'm going to sit gently on my feet and give my shoulders a little massage, a little squeeze, a little love. Hands behind, lift your heart, open your chest. And gently find your way onto your back when you're ready. We'll end with a figure 4, one ankle over the other, opposite thigh. Gently draw your legs a little closer. Breathe into hips, low back, glutes. We gave our upper body lots of love, lots of work, but doesn't mean that our lower body isn't working, isn't doing stuff. And when that feels like enough, swap out your sides. Slowly release, feet on the earth. Wide, knees to the sky, windshield wiper your knees right and left. Extend your legs, flip over onto your belly for a Sphinx pose. So forearms down, elbows right below your shoulders. Imagine drawing your heart forward. And then stack your hands, elbows wide, rest your forehead on your hands. Open your arms out wide, either in a T or in a cactus. I'm going to take a T. We're going to roll into left hip. Right foot kickstands behind you. Open up through the front of your shoulder. And as that feels like enough, switch to the other side. I've got a persistent bug circling me. Let's see if he gets me. We're going to flip onto our backs once more. And take any last shapes or poses that you like before final rest. And then allow yourself a little bit of stillness, a little lightness and ease, a little bit more grounding energy. you feel like you've had enough time here, start to awaken your body. As always, if you feel like you'd like a little bit more time, please stay. Add in any of your wiggles and stretches. And then gently find your way up to a comfortable seat. Take a moment to pause, to notice how you're feeling, maybe where you feel sensation, where you can send a little extra love. Let go of whatever happened or didn't happen. I held mine for just a moment, but not as long as I'd like. It doesn't matter. It's just a shape, just a pose. The practice is the journey on the way there. The things we learn about ourselves, our persistence, our discipline, and hopefully the fun we have along the way. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Thank yourself for making the time to move, to breathe. I thank you for joining me. It's always an honor. We'll gently bow our heads together in silence. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to practice again with you soon.